You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a very special guest in the building. I don't even know if she's a special guest. She's part of the show when it comes to this political stuff. Miss Angela Rye.
General Rye.
Hello.
First question. When can we impeach this guy? When can we impeach Donald Trump? When?
It's been 100 days.
It's not your turn.
Okay.
It's been
I'm piggybacking off him.
When can we impeach the president?
I appreciate the fact that you're on message, but I have no progress to report there.
None.
But you are on message, and I am right with you. My heart is right with you. I don't know when we're going to get to impeach him. The Republicans have to demonstrate that they have a little bit of courage, of which they have not too much right now. They're making secret phone calls to some of my more moderate friends saying, we don't really know what to do. You know, their morality is challenged. Yeah. But they have not moved on that just yet.
So it's been 100 days. What's with this 100-day mark?
Well, it's a big deal because it demonstrates how well the country is receiving the president. As you all have probably seen, he has the lowest approval rating of any president in modern history at this point. He's demonstrated an inability to pass any substantial legislation so far. So the first real thing that we may see this week is this funding measure. They had a stopgap, which just means there's a short-term, 1-week-long extension last week. And this next spending bill, it's actually a win for Democrats in a lot of ways. So he wanted to fund the border wall, not funding the border wall. He wanted to cut Medicaid for Puerto Rico, not cutting Medicaid for Puerto Rico. But he did get one win, and that was on military spending, but it wasn't at the mark that he wanted. Right. So that's the compromise. And what we're seeing here is even though Republicans control the House and the Senate, they still need Democrats.
And they kept saying government shutdown. There could be a government shutdown, and now we've avoided a government shutdown. Right. Would the government really have just shut down? I think that felt like a real, like they were trying to threaten us so that he could get some things passed. I don't understand what.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but a few years back.
It was shut down a couple years ago,
right? Under Barack Obama. And again, we know that he faced, of course, unprecedented obstruction. Folks didn't want to work with him. And to the point where they would cut funding to the government and ensure that things were shut down. So folks had to go home. They were furloughed. It definitely has happened. And so I don't think that Republicans, it would go well for them at all to have full control of the government and still have the shutdown. That just means that they're obstructionists no matter who's in charge.
Yeah, it can't shut down on their watch.
They shouldn't.
Why are people tripping that Barack got paid $400,000?
So this is really bothering me.
This is after his presidency, correct?
Yes,
this is recently.
What's wrong with that?
His first formal appearance since he wasn't president.
What's wrong with that? Was it a strip club?
No, It was not a strip club. It was a Wall Street speech was one of them. Of course, he's booking other speaking engagements. I don't understand this for the life of me. To me, I think that I get paid to do speeches, and for me, if I have an opportunity to speak at Wall Street, I'm going to talk to them about Bank Black. We don't know what he was going to talk about, but the fact that it's progressives who are angry that this first black president can't get paid to make speeches when every other president before him got paid to make speeches once they left office, I don't understand. One of the things I know, Van Jones, who's a colleague of mine at CNN.
Who's in the sunken place right now.
Shut up.
He is. We need to flash him with the camera.
Anyway, the thing that he said that I thought was compelling is he talked about President Obama should go on a poverty tour. But he said President Obama should go on a poverty tour before he takes these paid speeches. That I don't understand.
Why do I got to go on a promo tour? I'm platinum in these streets.
A poverty tour, not a promo. You're going on a promo tour right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying rappers go on promo tours.
You're talking about
rappers that are trying to prove
themselves. Free bonos for everyone.
Rappers that are trying to prove themselves on promo
translate this
tours.
for me. What is he talking about?
Barack is triple platinum in these streets.
Yeah.
Okay? He's a platinum artist. He don't got to go on a promo tour.
So I hear you. And again, I agree with you. I don't understand why. At every point, there's always something else that is some other hurdle he has to cross. He's already done this, not once, but twice. He's demonstrated his ability not just to be an author, but to be an author twice. And now they have book advances. 2 people are upset about their book advances.
Which
Michelle
is crazy.
Obama.
Why wouldn't they get...
That's a big book
But
advance.
what's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's a
But
big
that's
book
the
advance.
point. It's like, why at every turn do they have to demonstrate like they deserved it? They earned it at every single turn.
Van Jones ain't on no promo tour and he out there riding tractors with all them white people in the Midwest.
All right.
I'm not doing this with you this morning.
All right.
He's not on no promo tour.
Let's talk North Korea. Are we
not-
going to get into war with North Korea? Because it seems like he's pushing it. Our president is really pushing him like, let's do this.
One of my biggest fears when Trump was initially elected was that we would end up getting into war, some type of severe altercation, if it's not war, with some foreign government because of how he tweets.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like every day that's becoming more of a real thing. He's what did he say? He said something the other day, and of course now I'm blanking on it. He was like, "Oh, somebody's a tough guy." Like he thinks this is a cartoon,
Right.
Crazy.
which is really crazy. So I hope the answer to you is I hope not. But maybe there's a reason why he's requesting additional military funding. I think for a lot of us, I grew up in a house with a conspiracy theorist. He probably wouldn't like that I called him that.
Eddie
but
Rye.
Dad, you are. And so you think about, early on, they were making requests for additional funding and military spending. Is this to help their defense contractor friends? I don't know. But that also means that it costs lives, particularly black and brown ones who are on the front lines of our military.
He keeps saying they keep testing these missiles. They
Yeah.
keep testing these missiles, and they shouldn't test these missiles. If they test these missiles, we're going to do this. And these guys keep testing these
That's
missiles.
right. That's right. Well, and then he said, well, he's going against what China wants. Okay, so maybe you should try to figure out a way to actually solve for this. We went 8 years without this being a hard problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now this is
All of a sudden, it's one of the biggest issues we have.
Absolutely.
Now, healthcare. What's going on with healthcare? Because he had a lot of promises that he made. That was one of his main things, is to repeal the Healthcare Act that Obama had in place. Doesn't seem like it really happened. What's going on? Where are we moving with
So
that?
now they're trying to reach more of a compromise. They've had to moderate on this bill quite a bit. The problem with moderating on the bill means the folks in the House of Representatives, for example, like the Freedom Caucus and the Tea Party, which are the extreme right wing of the Republican Party, aren't happy with those moderations. But there's no way they're going to be able to pass a bill that doesn't cover, for example, pre-existing conditions or cover young people at a heightened age, which is 25 under their parents' plan. So they're still having to compromise and deal with that. I think the other issue that we have is also his tax reform plan. So last week he pushed out, it wasn't a bill, it was just a one-pager saying the types of things they would do. And in that bill, you're talking about a 35% cut down to 15% for corporations. So that means
And for the wealthy people. So
that's right.
They'll
More
say,
of his friends.
Right.
Even though they say he's a populist and Donald Trump is for the people, he's
for
really
the people.
not.
We're giving this country back to the Americans, and we're running the government. But it's going to be the rich people getting richer. and
with
the
gold-plated
corporations.
toilets. And so now you have folks who support him who were just at his rally this past Saturday who are like, they still think he's going to make
What about
America
us?
great again. No, they're not even asking that. They're so blind to the facts that they have not realized that this is going to hurt them. Social programs don't just benefit black and brown people;
Right.
they benefit poor white people too.
You was
Wow.
at the National Action. You was at the
what's going
National Action Network convention this weekend,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I was tweeting out to call up and
That's what I was
ask
doing.
Angela Rye questions.
Right.
But you was at the National Action Network this weekend.
Yes.
And you decided to walk up on Omarosa with a camera phone and flash the light in her face. Why did you decide to do that?
So-
Matter of fact, let's play it first.
How you don't fight for us is pissing on me and telling me it's rain. That is not a fight for me. We will continue to fight.
Yes, don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. Piss. Why did you do that?
So here's the thing. I didn't walk up on Omarosa. In fact, I walked the opposite way when I saw her. But here's the reality. Omarosa came, and I don't know who she asked to speak, but she asked to speak at the convention, at the National Action Network's annual convention. She bragged about being a member of the Los Angeles chapter of National Action Network. She talked about fighting for black people in the White House, all these great things she's doing for HBCUs, and it was lie after lie. So I was just supposed to give my acceptance speech for my award, which I'm grateful for. But I started writing notes like, oh, she's just going to keep lying. We fact check around
Oh,
here.
there you go.
So
Angela swears she got boss. She
Yeah,
just
she got
said-
some bars.
I do
She got
got
some
bars.
Oh, my
She got some
God.
bars.
coming from the guy named Dizzy Van Winkle.
All right,
back in the
relax.
day.
Relax.
Such a pink
Okay.
tea.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
She got bars.
Yeah, bars and facts. Fact check you. No, so no, the reality of it is she was just up there lying. And we know that Omarosa and Trump and his friends aren't fighting for black people. We know they asked us, what in the hell do we have to lose during the campaign? And we know that this is not a new trajectory for him. He's always had a treacherous relationship with the black community. So to me, I just wanted to make sure that I saw my people, as you would say, like I was feeling their energy and
Absolutely.
knew that that wasn't it. So I was like, let me just make sure y'all know that I'm not asleep. I saw what she did. I saw what she said. We're going to stay woke and we're going to continue to resist y'all.
Was she there when you told her don't pee on me?
No, she left. She left.
Okay.
So Reverend Al, yeah,
Pissed,
tell
yes.
him, tell him. So Reverend Al actually kind of hit her first, and right after he spoke, she left. But she saw that video
Wow.
once or twice or 7 times.
No,
Now,
well,
Angela,
that's-
was there anything positive that came out of this whole Donald Trump 100 days? Anything that you feel like he did that was beneficial?
So nothing that he did, but I think one of the most positive things from his election so far is the ability of the community. And by the community, I'm not just talking about black folks, I'm talking about brown folks, Asian folks, young people, women.
Yes.
Yes, I was getting there. Saving the best for last. Really being in charge of and leading a resistance movement to say, we're here, we see you. You're not going to treat us as we're invisible, and we're going to stand up to every single thing you do that's wrong. The Congresswoman Waters, like, leading the charge
Queen
on,
Maxine.
Yeah, on everything that's happening, all things Russia. Watching Congressman Cummings, these are my old bosses with the CBC, leading them to say, we see all of this. We're not asleep on any of this. We're going to hold you accountable. I think that's all great.
Now, you asked about HBCUs.
Yeah, we was talking about HBCUs
Charlamagne?
last break, and like they've been doing some questionable things. Like Bethune-Cookman has Betsy DuVall coming to speak, and Morehouse has Van Jones.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
Van Jones, you
that. You know,
stupid.
keep coming for Van.
What's going on?
So I think that Van going to Morehouse is a positive thing. Don't put him
when
in
he's not in the sunken place.
Don't do
Van
that.
goes in and out.
Don't do that. And Betsy DeVos is a different story, right? Like she needed to increase her security because of the ways in which she was dealing with public schools. Her record on charter schools is an affront to public schools, frankly. So Bethune-Cookman, I'm not sure what they're thinking. Maybe they think if they have her there, some of the debt that some of our HBCUs owe to the Department of Education will be erased. I don't know what they're doing.
Why would you book
Wasn't
her?
a good idea. I don't know.
That's the
I'm not
second
in charge.
questionable booking I heard this week.
What's the first one?
Foxy Brown got booked for a show.
Shut up.
She did.
You think people are going to show up for Betsy DeVos though? You think people are going? You think they'll protest?
I think that people will show up because their kids are graduating.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be, a sold out crowd? They don't sell tickets, so I don't think that they're at risk for doing that. But yeah, I think they're going to show up.
Well, let's
Their
go to
kids
the
are
phone
graduating.
lines. Hello, who's this?
Yes, hello, good morning. This is James Brown from the Bronx.
Hey, James Brown. What's your
James
question
Brown.
for Angela Rye?
Yes, good morning. My question is, first of all, I love you. And my
Thank
question
you.
to you is, how do you feel about Van Jones saying that President Obama should do a poverty tour before he does speeches for $400,000?
I just talked about
Yeah,
this.
she just talked about that. Go ahead.
But yeah, so I think that it's very important for us to see our president continue to represent our interests, particularly when we have a new person in the White House who doesn't represent our interests. However, I do not think that he has to demonstrate that he's still down for the cause when he demonstrated that for 8 years and before those 8 years when before he was president. So him doing a poverty tour, I don't think he should have to do that in the stead of going to make his money.
He can
I think
do both,
should,
really.
That's absolutely right.
He can get paid, and he can do some things, as Envy says it, free
Pro
bono.
bono. No.
How
Pro
much is
bono.
Van Jones getting paid for his
said
sunken
free
place
bono.
tour?
Pro bono.
How much do you think Van Jones gets for his sunken place tour?
He
That's
doesn't
what I
have
wanna
a
know.
sunken place tour. Stop starting mess. Oh my God, you're the worst sometimes.
He's definitely on a sunken place
Angela,
tour.
what were you thinking about all this stuff at Fox, by the way?
Oh my God,
With
there's
Bill
so much
O'Reilly,
happening.
nobody thought Bill O'Reilly was going to get fired
I
at
know.
first. Bill O'Reilly didn't think that was going to
Well,
happen.
we talked about it too. I was like, I want to believe that he is. I don't
Right.
know that he will be. So I'm actually relieved that they did something right. And thank goodness for those advertisers. Even though they did switch shows and they kept their money there, apparently it worked. I think again finding a silver lining, because we need to find those right now. Ebony Williams, who just got a show on Fox, I think it's not only because Bill O'Reilly was grabbing people on the booty, but it's also because they were having race issues as well. There's some discrimination charges.
Now,
At
be-
Fox.
Right. All these people coming forward now, too, telling their stories that probably felt like they couldn't, even though
That's right.
they're not getting paid or trying to sue, but they're just saying this is what used to happen.
That's right.
Let's
Now,
take some
being
more
that,
calls, too.
being that you used to intern for Queen Maxine, did she teach you any of those spells that she put on Bill O'Reilly? Any of that voodoo, that root?
She didn't put any spells on him. But yeah, I think she's very powerful. She's not afraid of anyone. I've never seen her back down from anybody. So I think we'll continue to see her doing that. But she's not putting the hex on anybody.
Okay.
Hold on.
You don't believe that?
Nope.
Angela, I do want to ask you about
Angela.
this travel ban that he was trying to put in effect that got blocked 2 times.
Yes.
So is that dead in the water, or is that something that is still trying to get passed?
I think that when you have bigotry as your main way of kind of running the government, you'll try to figure out a way. So yes, not once but twice. So there was a Muslim ban of 7 countries, then they reduced the Muslim ban to 6 predominantly Muslim countries, and it was blocked by 2 different courts. And actually the second one was blocked by 2 courts. The first one was blocked by just by 1 court. I think that he's going to keep trying. He also tried to say anyone who is, or any city that's functioning as a sanctuary city we are going to cut your funding. That didn't work.
That didn't work out.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think.
Is it so? Republicans are pushing back on him as well, though.
In some instances, I think that they could be far more strategic, strong advocates, but there haven't been. A lot of them are really afraid of what the repercussions will be if they, push too hard against Donald Trump, and that's the real challenge. So, yeah.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Rachel from New Haven.
Hey, you got a question for Angela Rye?
No, I actually wanted to talk to Charlamagne about his book.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, speaking of that, though.
What?
Me and Angela Rye
that's
will
right.
be in D.C. on the 4th. We'll be at the Capitol View.
Okay.
At 6 p.m.
But
Yes.
you're promoting it, and it's sold out, though.
It's sold out. It was supposed to be at the event space, but they had to move the event because it was too much of a demand. So we'll be at the Capitol View at 6 p.m. this Thursday having a discussion about black privilege.
And
All
Dizzy
right.
Van Winkle.
No.
Yeah,
Won't be no
definitely.
Dizzy Van
Oh, we're
Winkle.
definitely talking about
Absolutely
Dizzy Van
not.
Pink tea.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us this morning, Angela
Thank
Rye,
you,
coming so last
guys.
minute and helping us out with our political stuff.
Thank you so
And
much.
we're looking forward to talking to you after the second 100 days and seeing if anything new develops.
There will be many more new developments before the
I
next
thought you was about to say they won't be another 100 days.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be great.
That would
Mr. President.
that would keep him
I'm
on
going hard.
message.
All right, well, Angela Rye, we appreciate you for joining us, and thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
through last minute again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
It's The Breakfast Club. It's Miss Angela Rye.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in